Hi and welcome to Wine Mastery. My name is John Lightfoot and this is
John Murphy.
And we're here to tell you all about wine, hopefully help you find the wine, if not the wines that you will absolutely love. And in this episode we are continuing our reviews of the top 15 wines that are sold into the UK by volume. So in this particular one is a Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm going to struggle to pronounce it. Casillero del Diablo. This wine, as I say, is in the top 15. It comes in at around about £8 that you can get in the UK in the supermarkets. I'm sure it's available around the rest of the world as well. So shall we begin by having a look at the colour?
Ready when you are, John.
Okay.
I was born for this. Give it a go.
Well, the first thing is it's a very deep colour, isn't it?
It is. Got that. It's that deep ruby, rich, thick colour. There you can see.
Yeah, even against the strong lights, yeah. it's not.
There's
not
a
letting a lot
there,
through. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Lovely.
Should we have a little sniff?
If you insist, John, let's have a go of the nose. Sure.
Okay.
Let's have a go.
Oh.
Oh.
Now it's not shine coming forward, that is it? It's.
No, it's there's a lot going on there though. Oh, there's a lot going on there. It's almost like it's a.
You don't have to put your nose right in actually. If you just above it, it's some wines you really have to search, but this one, comes to meet you, so to speak.
There's definitely a good power there. It's a very stereotypically Cabernet Sauvignon and jammy because there's so much fruit in there. But right on the finish is a little bit of sweet vanilla smell as well.
Sweet vanilla?
Well, sorry, I mean, it sweetens up and then reminds me of vanilla.
Okay.
And then reminds me more of jam. So then I'm like...
What is it? I got the jam, I can't get the vanilla, but vanilla's one always tends to evade my nostrils.
And there's that hint towards the end there, a little bit of that... Do it injustice by saying this, but rubber.
Yeah, I'm getting sort of like a burnt thing. Maybe my burnt thing is your rubber.
I think it is because you and I have had this discussion before, haven't we, where I think it's rubber, you say it's burnt.
Yeah.
And we can, it's just the way, it's the subjective thing that we talk about, isn't it? Because whenever I've got that, that's what you say, the burnt it must be.
Yeah, yeah. Which, I mean, I think that I'm probably going to be more accurate because obviously it's come from the toasting of the barrel.
Obviously, but now when you're saying that, there is a smokiness there as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's quite a lot going on there, quite a lot. So far so good.
So have you got cherry? Are you struggling?
I'm just struggling to differentiate each one. There's a lot of berries in there and I'm struggling.
So you're just getting black fruit, presumably?
Yeah, and again...
Or red fruit?
I've said it, I'll say it again, jam. Okay.
And that's sort of like the overriding...
Yeah, for me, I'm struggling to really get into the nitty-gritty of which each one is, but I'm not going to let that get me down. I'm just going to have a taste, see what goes on.
Okay, let's go to the taste.
I get cherry now. Do you get cherry now?
Yeah. That's really strange. I got cherry, it flipped for a while, went to black currant, and then immediately came back to cherry.
I know what you mean.
So the tannins, if the tannins are slightly, for me, heavy.
Okay. I know what you mean. They are quite stringent and they're quite apparent, and it's almost when they come along, everything else stops.
Yeah. It kills the long, because I'm still getting the tannins, so the length is killed by the tannins, so it's really, really nice. And then the tannins, as you say, everything else stops.
Which then makes it not overly complex, because you get that hit of flavour, which again is mainly cherry for me, and then the tannins come and just stop it all off. So still, I can see why this is so popular, because it starts off almost quite heavy and rich, but then you are left with this the tannins which is going to stay around there. But You know, it's not something I'd be embarrassed to serve that.
Oh no, absolutely not. I'm you know, we just before we took this take, we tasted an expensive one, and it's probably a little bit difficult to you know, compare it with this one. I say expensive,
A delicious wine.
A delicious wine, yeah. This one is full of fruit, and in actual fact, you know, if you were, this is one where I think that rather than enjoy this one on its own, this is one I think I would prefer to drink with food, and that's not in any way critical of it, because some wines are just, you know, seem to be made for eating food with.
I think get the matching correct on the food with it, and you will, it'll bring much more out of the wine because your tannins will have gone, and hopefully it will complement the food nicely as well. Cheese wise, you're looking at some big, I'd say stronger cheeses to take that on, Comté styles. Even so much as a decent cheddar, I would say, would take that on nicely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A mature cheddar, do you think?
Oh yeah. A good at least 12 months on there.
And in terms of if one was having, I mean, I don't know, would you say this would go with like a spaghetti bolognese?
It do spaghetti, spag bol easy. It do beef easy. Steak.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's because normally whenever anyone says steak, my go-to is Malbec. I don't know why, but
well, it is everybody's. You can't go wrong. But it's not exclusive to the Malbec. I would happily have a cab sav with a steak. It will suit a lot of the kind of dark meats easily, and even stuff like, you know, nice heavy stews and a goulash, that kind of thing. As you all do, it's the matching of the kind of flavour profile, and yeah, I think it would take that on nicely. And I think, you know, drinking this as it is, it's nice, it is nice, but like you say, I think give it a bit of food and get the pairings correct, and I think you'd be in for a much more of a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it is a very solid wine, isn't it? You know, as you say, there's nothing to complain about.
No.
It's a good, solid, the words come to my mind, workhorse of a wine.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
If that makes sense. Yeah, so, well, let's get to the score.
Let's go. How much was it again? £8. £8. Okay. I'm thinking, nice bit of wine, not overly complex for me. Too heavy on the tannins as it sits. £8 is a good price though, but you know we've had better around the same price. So I would go to 76, but I wouldn't go much wilder than that.
Okay, I went to 78.
Oh, well, that's not too bad then, is it?
No, I think that's a fair score. I mean, for our personal taste anyway, that's a score. You know, it's a great wine, so you know it'll be on supermarket shelves. You can pick it up easily. Be confident that you're not buying anything that's duff. You know, it will sort of pair with meat dishes and cheeses. Absolutely no reason to get it. I can understand why it's in the top 15.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Excellent. Okay, well, if you want to see more of the other 15, we're doing a playlist on them, so you'll be able to connect to that and look at all of the top 15 that we've sampled and given our opinion of. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give us the thumbs up. And so until the next video, we look forward to seeing you there. Chin chin.
Chin chin.